course, we're getting to the libraries required in order to do a simple input and output function. So I'm going to import these two libraries. There's hash include and IOStream. That's your input and output stream. So if you want to take input, you got to include this. If you want to give output a certain way, you have to include this. And then after that, we're going to type in using namespace std. And what this is going to do is this is going to use our namespace portion of the standard input and output. Next, it's the same as any other programming language. We're going to start with the main. So we're going to type in int main, and then nest our main inside these French braces. Okay. After that, we need a return statement for the main function as well. So we'll just put return 0 for now. So as you all know, whenever the program starts, we go straight to the main function. And in C++, it's different than C for the input and output. First of all, we'll make a variable, just call it int x. Okay. It's good to put a starting value for it. You could just put int x and then a semicolon, but it's good to put a starting value. So I'll put int x is equal to 0. And then if we want to do something with that variable, we can add it. We can do make another variable, int y. So we can just put comma right after the 0 and then put our next variable. So we can do y is equal to 56. Next we can do also int sum. We'll make an int sum as well. So I'll put sum is equal to 0, and then I can do sum is equal to x plus y. Let's change the x value because 0 is nothing, so I'll put 10. And similarly, we can actually output that. So we can output cout. For the output, it's cout, and we have to use these less than symbols. We use 2 of them in order to output functions. So when outputting a variable or outputting stuff to the console, we have to use the less than symbols, 2 of them, okay, and then followed by the variable name. So it is different than C. We can just put sum right there. Let me just compare it to C. If it was C, we'd do a printf, and we would do a %d, obviously, right, and then a comma, and then we put the variable name, so sum. It is very, very different. In C++, we just simply do the 2 less than symbols and then the variable name. We don't need the %ds. We don't need any quotes. We can also do the new line character. We can also put 2 more. Okay, we have to put 2 more less than symbols, and then stick the new line inside. Okay, that would return the carriage to the next line. It's similar to doing. We can do this similarly by using endline, ENDL. That clears a buffer of any unwanted data. And some of you might know in C, if we wanted to clear the buffer, we need a whole new function to do that. But with C++, it's simply just endline. That's part of the IOStream library. So make sure you have this imported. Make sure you have include IOStream and using namespace in order to use all this stuff. There's different ways of outputting stuff if you don't include the IOStream library, but in this case it's much easier to do this. So when we output this, it'll output 66. Okay. For input, we can input our own values and do the same type of way. So let's do x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. And then we'll actually input our own values. So in order to input, similar to cout, we just use cin, and then instead of using the less than symbols, we use the greater than symbols. So 2 greater than symbols right beside each other, and then a space, and then we put the variable name. It's very easy. You do x, right? Cin x, And then we can take multiple at the same time. We can do another 2 greater than symbols, and we can do y. So what we're going to do is we're going to prompt for an x value, and then we're going to prompt for a y value. So once the user clicks enter, we prompt it again before it continues. Okay, and then that's it. We can just do a semicolon there. Okay, so we have sum is equal to x plus y. So it's going to take the 2 values and stick into sum, and then we can just see out that sum value. Remember, always for outputs, it's always a less than symbol, and for inputs, it's always greater than symbol. So we can also take string input in C as well. So to declare a string, it's an array of chars. We can't go straight into declaring a string. It's not possible with this library. So I want to go back to the basics. So in order to take string input, we'd have to declare a char array. So it's simply char and then the name of the array. So char, do char array, and then specifying the size. So do char array 10. Okay. As we all know with arrays, the first element is array at 0. Okay. The address of the array at 0 is the exact same as array. So if we were to print out the address of array at 0, it'd be the exact same as the address of array. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just so you guys understand, the last element of the array is the null byte. It is described as the front slash, okay, and then the 0, closed in single quotes. Similar to the new line, right? The 0 signifies the null byte, and backslash is the it's a way of saying that it's not, don't take this as a 0 value, take this as a null value. Same as the new line character. When you do /n, right? You do front slash n, right? That's saying that don't take this for the n value, take this for a new line value. Anyways, we'll get into that a little bit later. But so we have char array with the size of 10, right? You can make any value of the array equal something. You can do char, or sorry, array at 2 is equal to, in single quotes, g. Okay, so that'll make the array at 2 equal g. And we can simply print out, we do c out array at 2, and that will give us g. Okay. Let's go back to our char array at 10 here, and we can do cin, right? Cin array, right? And then we can do cout array. So what we know right now is the array has 10 values, okay, from 0 through 9, and the 10th element of the array at 10 is a null byte. So there will be a value stored in 0 through 9. So let's cin to array and then cout array as well. Okay. So it's going to prompt me for something. Let's type in my name, Mr. Java Help, and it prints up Mr. Java Help since it's 10 characters. If we were to do Mr. Java Help 5, it will disregard the null byte. Okay. It'll give it the 11 values. But if we would go further in, you're going to start having some problems. Your compiler is going to act up. It's going to try and allocate memory that it doesn't have. It's going to try and stick in 11 characters when it doesn't have 11 characters. So if you do Mr. Java Help 55 or whatever, something that's 11 or 12 characters, your compiler is going to start working up on itself. It's going to start acting up, and then you're going to have some problems. So it'll output it back, but it doesn't have the memory to store it. So you're going to have trouble with that. So when you allocate the memory, you allocate 10 characters for the array. And when you don't have enough characters to store whatever you're inputting, you're going to have some trouble in your whatever you're trying to input. So that's char input.